This is the boat for those of you that have ultra high expectations. What do I mean by that? It's a minimalist design with a super yacht quality interior, and it's 100% carbon fiber construction, which essentially gives us a 70+ foot boat that drives like a fun sports boat, drives like a super fast 50 footer if you want to. This thing will do 40 knots, but what's more important to, I think, most of you watching is the cruising speeds, the efficiency that we can get on this boat. And it's actually just one of the most luxurious things you're going to find in a package if you want it to be a boat that you can drive by yourself or with your partner. Ladies and gents, this is the Delta 72, Swedish designed, made here in Estonia. Welcome to Estonia, ladies and gents. It is summer, although it feels like a little bit of winter here in the wind. And we're going to do a super deep dive today. This is hull number 2 of the 72 range. And today is its very first drive. So you and me are having the very first experience on this boat. And we are going to be taking it for a proper test drive in the very next video. So those of you who are interested in a sea trial and understanding what it would be like to own and operate one of these, that's the very next video, because this video is going to be the ultra deep dive into what this boat is all about. And it's super special piece of kit. That's what I'm going to just start this off with. It's right for the top 1% of you. It is an ultra luxurious but sensibly designed boat that could work in multiple environments because of the hull design, because of the weight minimalization, and because of the layout, which we're going to discover on deck. But we're going to start the tour out here at the back of the boat. My name's Dan Jones. Welcome to Dan's Boat Life. If we haven't met before, g'day. And lots is happening, so it's going to take me a while. I can't offer you a coffee, but perhaps go and grab one yourself because we've got a lot to talk about. Starting out here, this will actually fold out and it can be our pasarel, which can give us access to the dock Mediterranean style, but it can also lower down into the water and give us some stairs to board the boat after a swim. However, we've also got this fold out stairs just here, or ladder I should say, 4-step folding ladder, and I like that it's got the handles that deploy when you need. We've got a rub rail all the way around this massive swim platform. It's a bit of a beach club, to be fair, and if you are coming into the dock, you do have that protection, but the fenders, will demonstrate that in the next video, are all easily accessible and easy to deploy. I like the Swedish flag in a cool location, easy to deploy. And back here we actually have the winches. This is for Mediterranean style mooring. Again, we'll demo those in the next video, but when you start using them, they actually deploy, so they come up on deck, and then you can start operating them in and out. And we have drop down cleats like so, and then you just press these 2 buttons to keep the decks clean. Our shore power setup, we've got 2 shore power cables, and they will just go in through these areas here, just going into the boat. And then it's actually, we have a hidden tender garage, so we can put a rib inside the tender garage here and deploy that. And then on top of the tender garage, we've got a massive storage area which will take a lot of the boat's covers and all of the boat's fenders. However, we've got multiple areas, so you don't actually need to take covers forward or aft, or even put them in the crew quarters, because we've got heaps and heaps of storage. In terms of the accommodation, we've actually got a VIP, a master, a guest cabin, and another guest cabin. Every single one of them has a toilet and a separate shower, plus a crew cabin. There's so much going on. We even have a sun lounge area up on the roof, which we're going to just have to get to later in the video because there's so much to see. So I'll quickly just cover this area, and then we're going to go up the port side. We've got a hot and cold swim shower here. We've got all the courtesy lights, very super yacht vibey when you're coming up and boarding from these stairs. This sun lounge is actually massive, and this is cool. Just simple. There's so many good, simple ideas. That is heavy, feels like Korean, and it will hold your drinks and your phones when you're doing some sun lounging. So this upholstery is very hard wearing. I'd be okay getting this wet, no problems. We've got a winch again on the port side here. And then if you have a look at these fittings just here, so if you are down in the med and you want to actually enjoy the sun, you pop that open. Two carbon poles out back here will actually deploy in there, and then you have a sunshade which attaches to a bolt rope on the aft end of the roof there, so this whole area can be protected from the sun. And I like this design because when you put the pole in, it doesn't fill up with water and therefore spray back up on your shirt. I did also check that all these cleats and these poles, these bases, they're actually drained, so they're not going to collect water anyway. Diesel in just from here. These actually, it is a full carbon fiber construction. Everything you're looking at on this boat is made of carbon. So this boat, compared to some of her direct competitors, she is somewhere between 20 to 25 tons lighter than the direct competition. And some of the other boats in the same sort of sphere as this one, they're running 3 motors when we're running 2, and we only have about 3,100 litres of diesel in the integrated fuel tanks because that's all we need. Wait till you see the fuel consumption on the next video. So this is epic. Like, this is really, really amazing. We've got so much space. Everybody can come and hang out here. The roof finishes in this location. Obviously in this part of the world, we actually want the sun, so it's quite enjoyable. The whole storage area aft actually hinges from this location. So this bench is as it is, that's fixed. But these ones on both starboard and port, they do have storage underneath them with some gas strut operation. So it's super easy. So that's all storage there. And this box here is one of your many subwoofers because you've got a big speaker in there as well. And the whole boat has been split up into zones for entertainment. So stereos, speakers up on the roof, forward, out back here in every single room. They're all flush. Everything, when I talk about minimalist, all the charging stations, all the operational side of the boat has mostly been hidden away in sensible locations. So both of these tables will drop down or raise, and then you can increase size. And I did note that when you have these two deployed like so, that person can still get up and go to the toilet, and then you can spin these around and change the direction as you see fit when you're doing lunch. We also have another one of these tables forward and the option to dine inside. So you really just pick your weather, but that's how that all works. And courtesy lights are everywhere. So you're going to see these stainless courtesy lights. We've also got them around these seating modules, and so we can illuminate with like a warm light on the deck of an evening, but the down lights are plenty as well. We have 3 access points into the engine bay. We're going to get back to that because I've just got way too much to show you. So 1, 2, but your primary access is going to be probably down through the crew quarters. They've all got ladders, and we'll go down there later in the video. So, to be honest, this is a bit of a dance floor when you need it to be because we've got so much space. Like, I can actually see people enjoying this at the marina after a good day out, having a bit of a boogie right here. But if you need to make some drinks, you're going to be doing that right here. So we've got a fridge, we've got an ice maker, we've got a teppanyaki thingamajiggy, and a hot and cold tap just here. And then if you wanted to option the boat with more fridges aft, you could actually convert some of these seat storage areas into drawer fridges, same as on the 48 Coupe, which you may have already seen on my channel. But we've got overhead lights just here, so we can illuminate this whole area, more speakers in this location as well, and we got a stereo control for this zone to control the party out here should you wish. And then also, in terms of operating the boat, we'll demonstrate this in the next video, we actually have wing stations just here, and then the same again on the other side. So just quickly have a look at your view forward and aft, because I genuinely think this is a boat for those of you who have had or already have the experience of very large boats with crew, but now perhaps you want something that still gives you that luxury, but now you want the privacy and perhaps just want to enjoy it yourself. So essentially the options, because you still could run this with crew if you want, that's where this boat might be an interesting proposition for some of you. So let's just come straight in. We're flat floor, just step over that stainless steel piece there. These doors, they've actually got different positions, so we can close them in on the center line there, and then it will lock, where is it? It's just there into that position, so you can just crack them for some air. Same again when we go forward, I'll explain that when we get there. This hatch here is actually an escape hatch for the master cabin. All of the cabins downstairs, we do have extra ways of getting out of the boat, so you're not just relying on the companionway down the middle. We'll see that when we get downstairs. So this is a proper size fridge, boom, boom, like so, like you would expect at home. That's so it doesn't open in a seaway. And then we actually have the freezer drawers down here. You can see it's already making ice, boom, boom, like so. And then on this side, we actually have the dishwasher. It's brand new because the boat just went in the water a couple of days ago. And then we have the rubbish recycling. We've got twin sinks. Everything is lightweight. This is actually not too heavy because weight minimalization, weight minimalist, is that the right word, is what we're going for on this boat. And you really do notice it when this thing is underway. Storage under here. It was a twin sink just here, and then that's the tap operation. Apparently these are fancy taps. Voila. Anyway, I'm not really up to speed on my taps at the moment, but apparently they're cool. So this is nice. So that's one of the many places for your glassware. We have more. This looks like 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 burners. I'm not too sure. I haven't seen this one before. That's Millet. But this is worth pointing out. The air conditioning is going to be absolutely awesome on this boat because we have air conditioning vents everywhere. I'll try to point them out. But whenever you see this vent or this vent, that's going to be AC. And we've got them up above and down low as well. The Millet oven, we've actually got some drawers in here. So you can do probably cutlery and stuff in there. And this one is going to be just fine for pots and pans, I would say. But there's more. We go up one step and then it's all flat floor in this area. And for the height, the roof actually goes up a step. So it's matching this distance. So any of you tall blokes, you're not losing height in this location. This area here is a bit of a multifunctional area. I would argue we're probably going to set it up as a coffee station if you want. You've got your air conditioning, you've got charging points for the coffee machine, and then this is quite clever, and we've got 2 of these. This is actually a little serving platter setup, and we have another one forward the same size, so they will both fit snugly into this little thing, and then you can take food and serve it out back there. But I love this. I'm actually utilizing it right now. It's a deep charging station, so you can actually see I've got my drone batteries on charge right there. We have multiple points, so you can set it up with all your various devices. And let's just keep the thing looking clean and minimalist once again, which I love. And this is another deep storage area. Again, just for getting things off the space and keeping it looking good. So this is a wine cooler just here. And this is extra hard to open because there's actually quite a bit of weight in here and you don't want it to open in a seaway. So you've got to give it a bit of oomph, but when it's open, you can see why. So all of your crockery, everything has a place. That's actually for knives. They slot in there and it's all neatly done where it needs to be, and then make sure it doesn't open when you don't want it to. Air conditioning. This is the button here to operate the flat screen TV, which we can sit over there and enjoy. And then more air conditioning, same again on the other side. And then we have a drawer just underneath here for storage. That might be good for a little bit of safety gear. Same again, just there. And then more AC, actually just here and here. But I think it's worth just kind of appreciating now the views that we've got over the water and the ability to immediately transform the space depending on your environment. When we got up this morning at 4 o'clock to take this boat out for sunrise, it wasn't windy. It's summer here in Estonia. It was 27 degrees yesterday. But today the wind's sort of kicking, maybe let's call it 15 knots, cut a few little white caps out there. It's chilly. So it's quite nice to have the option to close or be out of the wind in this cooler climate that we have up here. Whereas if you're just on a fully open big day boat, you don't have that option, your day is over. So we can immediately pop this sunroof, slide both of these doors open, have the air, or pack the thing down and control it with a reverse cycle AC as we see fit. I think that's just so good, because otherwise you're restricted to only going boating in nice places or on perfect days, and that just limits your season. So this is much more of a season extender design. I forgot to show you what's up here. Boom, boom. Another nice little place for some of your glassware, beautifully done and out of sight. All of the blinds, there's blinds right around this boat and also up forward, which is kind of cool. So they just pull down like this, but do you see these little metal thingamajiggies here? They correspond with this very strong magnet, and that's how it fits in place. And then there must be another magnet up in there to hold it up in place. This table will drop down and it will also double in size, like so. And then you've got little holders for your drinks just there. And then over here, I mentioned it before, we actually have another serving platter, same size, and it will fit in that same space, and a second charging station so we can get all of our bits and pieces out of the way with another AC outlet just up there. And underneath, probably for games, you tell me, but more storage, sensibly done, and again, keeping everything nice and clean. The upholstery, the design is comfortable. You can obviously do your own thing with the colors and the material selections, but I like this vibe, doing this. So the idea is so you can sit forward and raise your bum a little bit and enjoy the view or get a better sight line forward. You don't necessarily need to get yourself up higher, because I found it's quite a level attitude underway. It's not a boat that really raises its bow very much, so it's not sort of dangerous in that manner. So really, it's just as you see fit if you want to do that. And I think in a social situation, it might actually just be a bit of fun. But in here, we've actually got deep storage, a huge big storage bin, multiple charging points. Once again, USB-C and A. You can put all of your instrument covers just forward here, so you can take them off the dash, get them out of the way, and then again, throw all of your personal items just in there. And I think it's sensible to have the ledge here. You can just tell the Swedish, when they design boats, they're designing it from the perspective of people who actually use boats, because everything is practical, so it's great. This is handy just for doing things, working at your computer. More drink holders, same again, phone holders in here, and the dash forward has got it's Alcantara material, but it's got a sensible color in that it's not going to reflect back up in your face, because we do have quite a bit of glass here, and with this angle, if you didn't complement that with something like this, it's going to cause some reflections, particularly on a clear day like today. So come through this door. And let me show you first, because I'm a big fan of having two doors at the helm. So now, again, if I'm wanting to operate this boat by myself, because you can, because we've got DPS and we've also got dock assist. Therefore, matched to a hull like this where it's not too heavy, the thing is actually going to be quite consistent in its movements around the dock, and it also works in conjunction with the variable bow thruster, so that's going to make life even easier, which again we'll show in the next video. But do you see these? That latch there and this one here, it's a different length. It actually allows you to lock the door just cracked open depending on which latch you use. So you can just suck a little bit of air in if you wish, or have the thing fully open. And then it's not offset, it's a center line. So both walkways on port and starboard are equal width, and therefore quite easy to make your way forward or aft. But you do have one step just there, but when you're stepping out of that door, you're on the level walk, so it does make a lot of sense. But you do have this railing here, so it's got a good amount of safety margin if you need it. I've got to chuck my sunnies on, that sun's getting strong now. So, lovely, sensible, functional layout up here, and everything's got a place. I'm really a big fan of how they're doing this. This is brand new hatch, so no one's really used this one before. There you go. So, good storage for lines and covers. All of this upholstery has got its own cover, and you don't need to take any of it aft because we've got plenty of storage points. This is another one of those bases, because now we've got 4 carbon poles to protect this whole area in shade, and we can see more of the courtesy lights there and there. And that is your fusion control to control the tunes in this part of the boat. But underneath, just here, this sun lounge is lovely. Oh, I'll just give you perspective. It's bloody massive, actually. So you're going to have some nice cushions if you are going to have a little sleep up here, but you can actually option it with a little backrest that just slides in here for support, and then this area can be turned into a bow lounge, eating and dining area should you wish. However, because I was talking about it, and it's actually not very heavy to open this because it's all made out of carbon fiber. But with the gas struts, look how much storage we have under here. So all of, for example, the sunshades themselves and the poles can store up here, and you could put a bunch more fenders if you required in this location. But just come in here, this is actually made of carbon fiber, again, super light. That is escape for the VIP forward. You'll see again when we're inside, you just have a little escape tab and you can just punch your way out in an emergency. I think that's important. And again, it just sort of makes it very clear to me the people that are designing these boats are real boaters. And so you see stuff like that. It's one step up into that area and a level walk around. This is a plug-in for a pressure wash system. We did actually use it yesterday, and we're doing a little bit of cleaning today because there's quite a few bugs around, to be honest. And so that was useful. This is the operation for the winch here, and then that's same as what we saw back aft. It's going to pop up and then operate. But these buttons here are for operating the windlass. We can do the windlass from the Helm, but this allows us to have better visibility if we don't install the camera. Come and have a look. So basically, when you deploy the windlass, there's a couple of great big gas struts which just push a door forward, which is permanently mounted on the bow roller, and then we actually have a massive amount of drop. That's why we have a ladder to get down into the anchor locker, because you would be able to store a lot of large ball fenders or bigger fenders in this location. We've got this bar just here for securing the lines so you don't actually lose them, and all the chain, it's got a massive vertical drop into a bucket, so you're never going to have a risk of the chain sort of bunching up and then jamming, because if you don't have a great vertical fall, that can happen sometimes. I can see the machine just there for the pressure water pump as well, and then you can feed your lines if you're picking up a mooring through here, bring them back to the cleat. This is not really a boat that I'm going to be boarding people on and off the bow. This is essentially just a stylistic piece. Maybe you would, but I don't see that as a primary function for it. I see that's more as mounting your flag. Flush mounted speakers just here. This is the water in. All of the tank placements on these deltas have been done with weight and balance in mind, so they're on the center line forward of the engine. So the main fuel tank is center line forward, and then the water, grey and black tanks are all forward of that. So you don't have any tanks out on the wing, and you notice it when you're driving the thing because it's quite pleasant. More storage underneath this seat as well. So we do actually have more space for covers. And then same again, mirrored from what we just saw on the port side, just here through this hatch. Windscreen wipers have got the freshwater wash function, a good amount of overhang, but remember it still is a sleek design. That's why I think it's important to have that Alcantara there to protect you from the reflection. And then your midships cleats, this is the forward midships cleat, so it's not a great distance from that door, but you've also got an aft midships cleat just there, which is a sensible location from the wing station. So again, seems like someone's thought of that. And these are actually for deploying your fenders. So again, keeps everything looking flush. You've got a special mount for the fender, and that's how you do it. And then you can also just tie fenders on some of these railings the traditional way. But come in and have a look at the helm. So let me actually turn these screens off, turn off, because they flicker on the camera and it annoys me when I do the editing. But beautifully done. I love the finishing, the wheel. This is a classic Delta vibe, to be fair, but we've got two big screen Garmin displays so we can do multifunctional setup. We can feed whatever information that we require to the helm. We've got a variable speed electric thruster, bow thruster just there. We have a FLIR system on this boat, so that gives you good night vision capabilities if you need. The Volvo Penta diagnostics just here and here. We have got the joystick, so that allows us to hold station, and then we can also select docking. And because this one has the dock assist, when we're operating the joystick, if we select, the bow thruster can work in conjunction with the pod drives as well. This is actually a super duper, super yacht style spotlight. So we've got full control and we can do sweep and we can do all sorts of different functions with that one. More charging options just here, 4 USB-Cs, and we can probably put some phones and bits and pieces just up there. Your engine batteries easily accessible just here at the helm. Our VHF is as well. And then all of your lighting, defrosting, gyro power is here. Basically all your operational buttons are at the helm. Sunroof operation, wiper wash and operation, horn and navigation lights are at the helm, and then your fob and engine on and off. We even have this little pull-out drawer here is designed for you to stand up and stick your head out of the roof and drive. I can just make it. It's probably designed for taller blokes, to be fair. And I would like to see a little latch to lock it in place because it slides around. And to be fair, I would like some sort of little footrest here just for longer driving because I think it might be comfortable. But we still have the ability, as I saw on the other seat, to sit up like so, raise your height. But I just don't think it's necessary, and you can just check that out for yourself in the next video. And then from here, it's worth pointing out that we actually have a lot more of the boat's systems. It is a C-zone boat because that essentially allows you, this one hasn't been calibrated yet, so we don't have the picture of the boat, but you just have cruising, dock unattended, night mode, and you just kind of select what you're doing with the boat, and then it will switch all the buttons on for you. But the Seakeeper is operated from here. The Spectra water maker, we actually have 2 gensets on this one, a day genset and a night genset. However, the whole boat can operate off the night genset. And then we have 2 chillers for the air conditioning, and the second one can spool up when you need the extra power, and then you operate the air conditioning individually. They have all their zones, which we're going to have a look at when we get downstairs. And then our primary stereo unit for this part of the boat is just in there, all hidden away. And behind me here, this panel will actually come off because they've built in a redundancy at the helm. So the helm has its own power backup system, which is charged from the main supply. And if you lost power, you're not going to lose navigation. That's located in here, and you literally just pull this out to get access to it. So there's lots more to see. I think we'll just go down into the accommodation now, and then I want to take you upstairs and back down into the engine room for you to check out that side of things. So I have to show you the master first because this is delightful and so spacious. Also, a little bit more headroom in here compared to hull number one, but massive bed, beautifully done on either side and lots of minimalistic details. So starting over here on the starboard side, you've actually got, same again, these hidden charging spaces. We've got light switches, shelves, bedside drawers, and then even under here, come in and have a look, you've actually got a beautiful, well laid out space for all your glassware and bottles, and then stereo and more charging just up there, reading lights. How cool are these seats just here? You've even got storage for more drinks and items in the middle there. You could definitely kick back and put your feet up, but all the way across the back, I think it's probably designed to store books, to be fair, because it's a bit of a reading nook and it makes total sense to put your books along the side just there and all the way up to the forward part just there. Just through here is actually a window for some natural ventilation, and we can get cross-flow ventilation, but I'd probably suggest the AC is going to be more effective. We've got the flush speakers there and there. They look great on deck being white, but they may be a little bit funky alongside the wood, although they're not super obvious. More reading lights, hanging storage. Both of these, so hanging here, have got full stand-up mirrors. So on this one and that one, and then you've got some shelves and a safe just in there. The fuel tank, which I was mentioning before, is actually in this location. So it's a integrated fuel tank. It's carbon fiber. It's got custom gel coat on the inside for the diesel, and that actually saves a couple of 100 kilos as opposed to building a metal or a custom GRP tank. Just in here, we've actually got another pop-up flat screen TV, and then underneath here, I'm not going to do it all the way, we've got lots of drawers, heaps of storage on both sides, just there, and then over on the port side, this is actually pretty cool. So this sort of double size seat actually has a ledge just up here. So if you want to have it out of the way, the legs get caught by the ledge and it stays out of the way to leave this space free for passing through. You do lose a little bit of headroom in this space, and then you go back to stand up headroom from here forward. But if you're utilizing this area, there's heaps going on. I would argue that you could actually set up your own little coffee station in the corner just here with an espresso, because we have another charging station in here with multiple plugs, 240 or 110, and you can feed the cable out from just here. So you can have multiple items plugged in permanently. You could also do a laptop plugged in and stationed here or here. So it's a bit of a workstation, it's a bit of a coffee station, and it's also a makeup area for the girls because you got all of your makeup storage and then mirror, and then we've even got our own little fridge just here, which is why I was kind of thinking that makes most sense for the coffee station vibes. But I'm a fan of this, you know, space utilization. Basically, that's what you've always got to be thinking about when we're on boats. Got some deep drawers and then shallower drawers just there. As you can see, we can keep watch from in bed, so we can keep an eye on our situational awareness, make sure we're not dragging anchor, etc. And then same again, matching as what we saw on the other side with the hidden charging station. Proper reading lights, can sit up in bed, and this is the escape hatch. So we saw that on deck. This is one of the ways out if you had a fire and couldn't exit the boat forward through this door. But you got to check out the head. This is super nice, almost full beam. Lots and lots of space, and we've got this lovely marble looking finish, but it's not real marble, so it's actually saving a bucket load of weight instead of putting stone in here. So it's like a film, if you like. It's not an actual film, it's like a couple of millimeters thick, but it's much lighter weight and gives you the look without the weight. And then we've got this stone finish down here, lots and lots of storage. Another one of these windows up here, however, it's air conditioned, this space, so you can choose air conditioning, and open window, privacy blind just there. And we pull up for deep storage, lots more storage in here. And I'm going to show you, this is right throughout the boat, but it's just interesting and it's easy to point out. See this insulation? So this is right throughout the entire boat. And can you see that black stuff? So ordinarily on a carbon fiber boat, if you just have the carbon and you don't insulate it with the rubber and then this extra sound insulation, the boats can be much noisier. And so with that sound insulation, it makes it much more of a livable boat because you're not having the sounds transferring through the boat. This is the biggest stand-up. Oh, look at the shower head. This is cool. This is the biggest stand-up shower in the whole boat. And then you've got an electric heated towel rack just there, and a good lip from this shower, so you shouldn't be sending any water, and an overhang from the shower screen from there into this area. So that all sort of makes sense. This is your door. You come out and go up one step, and then we've actually got a guest cabin, which could also convert to an office, in my opinion. So obviously that'd be a custom setup for you, but it's currently a single bunk. Oh, it's good with the extra little foam thing on top, actually. It's quite comfortable. Natural air just there, a nice amount of light. We've got the storage in here with the shelves, air conditioning control. We have a reading light just there and a full stand-up mirror. So you're not struggling. I think you're going to be comfortable in here. And then also some more storage up there and there. Just here is actually your Millet washer dryer. So that's located underneath the companionway stairs. And then access into the bilge everywhere. They're not hiding access anywhere. That could also be a storage location, but underneath the bilge just here is actually the hot water tanks. You've got two of them and you can access them from just there. I'm going to come back to the other guest accommodation because I want to show you the VIP. It's absolutely huge. This bed's massive, like heaps of space. Definitely sit up in bed. Some of the best views through these windows, and then we've got the opening ports there and there. But once again, the minimalist thinking is at work here. So we've hidden all the charging away, so you can put items in here, put them on charge. Your stereo controller is hidden there. The air conditioning I saw was hidden away just in this one, just here, more charging, more throw places. So the whole idea is to keep this space free and clear. So sort of just keep your mind peaceful because we're on a boat and you should be enjoying yourself. You can see some technical access just here and some of the tankage on the center line, keeping the weight balanced. And also we get another visibility on some of that insulation as well. I wouldn't really be using that as storage, to be honest. And then we've got more hanging storage, bilge access, more hanging again on the port side, the TV, and because every single head has got a separate shower, super nice, heated towel rack once again, pretty big space in here. Storage everywhere, deep storage, big sink. That's actually an important point. I was on a boat the other day where they built a super stylish sink, but it was so thin when you're brushing your teeth, I couldn't actually get my head over the sink, and I'm like dropping toothpaste on the ground because it was super cool and super stylish, but no one thought that you need this distance to brush your teeth. Simple stuff, but operationally can be annoying when you just want to brush your teeth. So This one's lovely. Obviously, this person on this side of the bed, if they need to pee in the middle of the night, they've got to roll over this person, but they're not paying the bills, so that shouldn't matter. And once again, I do like these mattress toppers. More drawers, same theme once again. So everything is hidden away. Got the reading lights, we've got the speakers overhead, we've got the hanging and shelves, air conditioning in here. We've got a proper head with a very big separate shower once again. So isn't that good? That's fantastic, well done. And that's your shower thing that pulls out, and then it attaches up here, and it's got vertical and sideways adjustment. We've got an opening port just there, storage, and that's your toilet button there for the macerator. So that's all pretty nice, but your day head is in this location. So this would be the head for anyone who's staying in that cabin if you did have someone there, and otherwise this is going to be your day head operations. Once again, it's got the smallest separate shower, but it's perfectly doable for one person. Boom, boom, happy days. Same setup. So every single head on the boat has got the same finish. As you'll see when we get to the crew quarters, it's also the same vibe. So pretty nice. Okay, access into the crew quarters and primary access into the engine bay in here. I note that that's on gas struts, so it's not going to fall back down on your head. Come down backwards and you go down this ladder, and I'll grab the camera so Jono can follow me. And it's been very thoughtfully done. So we do have these little storage nooks here. We can hear the gyro going. Actually, I'm just going to close that door. There you go, so you don't hear it. So essentially, I'll pass this camera back to Jono. Quite a bit going on here. So we actually have 2 bunks. All right, I'll close this door so you can get a feel for the space. At the moment, it's in bunk mode. Each bed has got a reading light. However, if you want to set it up in lounge mode, you can actually push this bunk up here, get the mattress out of the way, and then you can deploy your own little eating table or hangout zone just here. Obviously, that's out of the way, so you actually have the headroom when it's deployed. We've got access into the bilge. We've got a Garmin display just here so you can keep watch. It is an air-conditioned space. You got multiple charging points. You got your own TV. You got your own C-zone and generator controls just in here. And this is more access to technical space. Some little sort of storage spaces just here, but you even have your own separate shower in the head compartment. So you're definitely not struggling for a crew quarters, and the same finish as we saw throughout the rest of the boat. This is air conditioned, this space. So it's all kind of well done. You could use it for throwing bits and pieces, but we've got so much storage underneath that forward sun lounge and the aft sun lounge and other throw spaces that you don't necessarily need to go throwing the boat's covers and fenders and those sorts of things down here. It's not essential. Hanging locker just there, but you also have some hooks just behind this stairway just here to hang some of your wet weather jackets. And then through this door, first thing worth noting, if some of you saw Jack's tour on hull number 1 at Cairn last year, there was less space due to the tender garage being larger on the earlier model. So what they've actually done now, they've just redesigned this tender garage to exactly fit the space of the tender. So now the tender actually touches up snugly against the walls, and then it gives a mechanic space to get down the center line on both sides of the motors. And I'll try and explain essentially what's going on now for you. Underneath me, you can hear it whirring away. That's your Seakeeper on the center line for weight and balance where you want it. And then forward of me, we have the fuel tank, which is underneath the master berth. That's an integrated carbon fiber fuel tank, and then water, black and grey tanks forward of that. These are your gen sets on the center line in the middle of the motors. So that is your night gen set. That will actually run the whole boat, should you wish. And then the big one after that is the day gen set, which obviously has more capacity. I'll just grab the camera and show you around this side, because this is your chillers. That's going to be running the air conditioning. You have 2 of those. And then on both sides, now we're looking port side forward, you have these big battery banks. So they're actually balanced. And then looking port side aft, you can actually see your ladder, which is getting you access to another escape, which we saw from on deck. And then we can also see the fuel filters. So you can select which one you want to use, and now we can actually get back in here and get better access on top of the IPS drive units. You can see the hydraulics. You can also see the air compressor all the way back aft there for pumping up some of your toys and bits and pieces. Sea strainer just there, Fireboy system on the center line, power distribution just on the bulkhead forward. That's your controller for your shore power, so you can plug this into 110 or 240. They have thought of that. And again, same access, equal space around the motors. It is possible. We got these air extractors. We have been running them. We've just cooled the boat down now for me to walk through here. And your Spectra water maker is mounted on the starboard side. Engine filters, again, plenty of space aft. And now I'm looking forward on that starboard side, and there's enough space for someone to crawl up here and actually get access to the batteries. I'm actually going up there now myself. I'll turn the battery around and see what I mean. You can still get in here, which makes life a little bit easier for the mechanics, because we are trying to do a lot with the available space, and you know, it's pretty important for a mechanic to have access to get into those crucial areas. So whilst we're at it, I think we should go upstairs and have a look at the roof. I'll just grab my sunnies. There's your sunnies, Jono, because it's an incredible space with a lot going on. So you just got to go up these stairs just here. Make sure you always go up and down facing forward, I think is the wise thing to do. Because even though now it's turned into winter again, it was summer this morning, mate. What's going on?
It's changed.
Now it's super chilly. But this is a whole nother hangout zone, particularly with the gyro on. It's perfectly stable platform up here. The boat's form stability is pretty good anyway, because we got a fair amount of beam aft, but the gyro is going to help. And then this just becomes your whole rooftop hangout place. Fold out little table there, drinks, storage, because you do have covers, so you don't have to put these sun loungers back downstairs. You could just cover them up when not in use. So it's a full-on social area. This is actually your Starlink for the internet, so it's kind of hidden away a little bit. And as you can see, these are actually solar panels. So they're dotted around the roof here, here, and here, and there's more forward, but because I've opened the sunroof, they're hidden at the moment. So if you were needing that trickle charge, you want to close the sunroof. It's just for topping up the batteries, because we have so much battery capacity. Remember, we have the multiple generators and we have the shore power for that, but this is just giving you a little bit of redundancy. You got your horns, we got our VHF. This is the FLIR system where it's mounted. Also having the spotlight mounted in this location as opposed to mounting it forward means that we're less likely to have reflection on the bow and then coming back in your face, which then makes it impossible to use the spotlight. So that's a sensible thing to do. That's communication with the satellites. This is our radar. That's communication for the Volvo Penta system forward. And we probably should have cleaned the glass, but we had a lot of bugs to wipe off this morning. So give us a break on that one. But yeah, this is cool. I just like, utilizing this space. I think I mentioned before, it does have its own stereo speakers. We've got our control just there, so it is another zone. And we've even got courtesy lights up here. So of an evening, on a summer's night, without wind like this, it's super, super pleasant, because it's just another place to, get away from everyone else and enjoy yourself. So that's the boat, ladies and gents. What do you think? Delta 72, is it your cup of tea? Is it the minimalist super yacht sort of vibe that you're looking for, and the boat that you can run yourself but still take a lot of friends and have privacy without having to run it with crew? Or would you run it with crew? You tell me. So yeah, who is the demographic after I've now spent since, what are we? It's almost lunchtime. We've been on the boat since 4 a.m. A fair amount of time. Who is the demographic that, in my observation, is going to see the most value in owning something like this? I think someone who is definitely looking for a driver's boat. This thing is a pleasure to drive. It's enjoyable but predictable, and it's fast, and it also has quite a healthy cruising speed. So if you are someone who enjoys driving your boats and that's important to you, definitely pay some attention to this. It is also very logical to operate this thing. All the things that you need to run the boat are in the places you would expect them to be. The flow, leaving the helm, getting to the bow, getting to the swim platform, moving around, getting down to the engine bay, the flow works. And it's also of a size, a volume, a length and a beam where it's going to facilitate, look at me right now. You can facilitate multiple people. You've got space for guests to move around. So you're going to have that feeling that you may already be used to on a very large boat, and you're going to achieve that relaxing vibe, whilst, if you wish, you can still run the thing yourself, or your captain can still come along and hide down there in the crew quarters and do their thing in the galley when you need them. So I think those people who appreciate the minimalist style will see real value in carbon fiber performance and the fuel efficiency, which is a real thing. And then also the lack of geographical limitations is the way I'm going to phrase it, because it was summer here this morning and now it's turned into winter. Like, it's actually cold. But having this glass, having the ability to just open and close this thing up and hang out in here and still have really wonderful views of the water, and it's still very light and airy in here, allows you to really enjoy the boat no matter what the weather is doing. You don't have to sit out there. You can retire inside and still enjoy the views and set the temperature as you see fit. So, how does it drive? That's the next video. What should you compare it to? We'll discuss that in the next video as well. If you get value out of these videos, please jump in the comments. Please tell your dealer or the factory if you enjoy my content, because that's literally what opens doors to get me on more cool boats. If you find this a useful piece of content to help you do whatever you want for your boat life. Because remember, I'm not selling any of these boats. I just want you to use these videos as a tool to help you make the decision that's right for you. So that's important to me, and I hope it's useful for you. Love you lots. See you in the next video. Let's go have some fun. See you guys.